All right. I'm here grading your IAs. Um, and there's a few things I want to make sure that you guys do. Just basic things that almost all of you have to do. We kind of go down a checklist of things that you want to look for to fix some of your IAs. I'm making comments on them, not super extensive. I'm not supposed to make super extensive comments. Okay, number one, most important. You need your article at the start, cut and paste, and put it at the start of your paper. The first thing that a reader should see after they flip over the cover page is the article. Then they're going to look at the article, then they're going to start reading. It is so hard to read these when I don't know what your article is. I'm trying to figure out if your article is about unemployment or trade or what it's about. They need to know what it's about, and then because they need to know you can analyze that article, but they don't know if you can analyze the article if they don't know what the article is. So the article first. You have to have a physical copy of the article added to it. Number two is that a bunch of you are writing from the perspective of being an American. You got to understand that not all the readers are American. And so if you make any reference to anything that's outside, English is fine, but anything that's a reference to anything political, Republican, Democrat, anything like that, or anything that happens inside America that's not covered in the article, then you need to explain what that is. You can put words in there, you just need to explain what it is. The next thing that a bunch of you need is that you're actually going too far with the charts. 2, maybe 3 is fine, depending on what the chart is, depending on what they're showing, especially if there's a relation between two charts and you're talking about that relationship as part of your analysis. That's fine. Somebody had 5 or 6 charts. A couple people have had 4. A couple people had 3, and they really only needed 2. Going too far on the charts detracts from how good the charts are. You need 1 perfect chart, 2 to protect yourself. And remember that the important part of getting all the points, the 3 points you can get for a chart, is explaining the charts and what they're referring to. Okay, the next thing is a couple of years I've read, you did a really good job of defining terms. That's great. A bunch of you haven't, though. You wrote the word in and you didn't fix it. So that's the next one, is make sure you define your vocabulary word that you're using. You only have to define it once. You don't have to define it over and over and over again. But you need to define them so that they know you know what you're talking about. And you're not just taking something that was in the article and using it and not really sure if you're using it correctly. The couple of other things, there's a bunch of spelling things where you can tell you guys did not proofread these. And you shouldn't proofread these papers. These are papers that you need to graduate. Give them to somebody else, let them read it. Even if they don't understand it, they'll see the words that don't make sense. A bunch of you, it's just like tense things. Some of you guys are second language learners, and you can kind of see it in your writing, which is fine. You just want to clean some of that stuff up. I mean, little grammatical mistakes, and it should be ing instead of at the end of the word for future tense or the active tense of the word. You guys are just kind of missing a few of those things, and it just is a little sloppy. Now, the last 2 things. You need a bibliography at the end of your thing. If nothing else, just so you have the article so that they know that you've referenced the article. You have the article at the start, but you need to reference it at the end. Or do footnotes. If you've done footnotes, footnotes are fine. You just want to have the footnotes. And then in your charts, where did you get your charts from? What's your reference for your charts? Anything you're referencing like that, just make sure that you put the reference, but you need at least 1 reference at the end, which is the reference for your article. And then the last thing is, a bunch of you are doing really good analysis. I like the analysis. I'm giving you actually quite high points analysis. The problem is that you only get 3 points for analysis. You get 4 points for judgment. A bunch of you are giving 3 sentences at the end for, well, this is it. Remember, the couple of things that you want to focus on with judgment is mentioning all the stakeholders, mentioning that there's doing your counterclaim. You've been building up probably a pretty good one-sided argument. Make sure that you get the counterclaim in there, and that you choose a side, that you say this side is correct, or where to go. You're doing a pretty good job of that. These are actually really well written. I'm really impressed with what you're doing. And then the very last thing is make sure your word count. Make sure that you're at the word count you need to be at. A few of you, I'm not counting your words. I'm letting you guys do that. But when I check it on Turnitin, it's saying you're at like 790 words, and I don't know where these other 40 words are. I want to just make sure you guys clean those things up so that you can get some of this stuff done and ready to turn your eyes in. If you have any questions, put them on Canvas. Thanks, guys.